by bringing out our co-creators, co-showrunners, executive producer, and writers, Tracey Wigfield. And of course, Tina Fey. Followed by our incredible cast. Sorry about that. Forte, Kerri Kenney-Silver, Calvani, and Erika Henningsen. How's everyone doing?
Hi.
Hi, thank you. How are you? Good. I want to start with the writers here and and give everyone a big congratulations because you guys just got picked up for season 2.
Woo!
How does it feel now that it's out in the world and you're jumping in again?
Great.
Yeah.
Great. It's the most successful thing I've ever worked on, so that's always a nice feeling. It makes me think everything I've done before was not at all successful.
You worked on 30 Rock with me.
Oh, right. Right.
But yeah, the immediacy of the response has been, it's true, it's not like anything I've ever worked on either.
I don't know. I feel like everyone on this stage had some pretty incredible resumes up here. So I want to kind of just start with how this came to you. Of course, this is based on the film, but how did you guys decide to turn this into a TV show?
Well, Tina and Lang and I had been talking about doing a show that Tina would star in, and Tina has loved the movie since she was a kid, and we were talking about the movie a lot, especially as like a tonal comp, doing something that was kind of grown up and a little cozy, and something that was about relationships and marriage and stuff, and Tina kept mentioning the movie, and Lang and I eventually watched the movie, and we all kind of felt like this is such a perfect thing to remake as a show. Also because the structure is really cool. It's this container play where you only see these people on vacation, and it just seemed really exciting to get to expand that into episodes.
Absolutely. Will, what drew you to this? And were you familiar with the movie? Had you seen the movie?
I had not and still have not, and I apologize for that.
It's on Netflix now, Will.
I know now I know that it is, yes. What drew me to it, I got a call saying, Tina Fey wants you to play her husband in something, and you are nuts if you don't immediately just say, oh, yes. And they're like, well, we'll send you the script. It's like, I don't care. Yeah, sure, send it. Fine. But yes, it's a yes for sure.
Just tell me where to be.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the movie? Or have you yet? No.
We've seen it. It was on Amazon for a brief second when I was auditioning for it. So I saw it, and then it was taken down, and didn't get to see it until we did a screening in New York City that Alan Alda was present for, and it was really special to see it in a theater like this, and it still received like the same huge laughs that I have felt watching it. So it's been cool to see it come full circle, and now you can watch it on Netflix. So go and watch it.
I haven't. I tried. The moment I got the job, and I wasn't familiar with the movie. The success of the film didn't translate the same way in Italy. And so when I got the job, I tried to watch it, it wasn't available anymore. So at some point I tried, and I was like, I think I have to make my own version without being too influenced. Now it's back on Netflix. I prepared myself one night to watch it, and I got scared. I'm like, I don't, what if I fuck it up?
You didn't.
You didn't.
I will watch it.
Oh wait, he has the same birthday as Rita Moreno.
It's true. I know that.
Kerri, had you seen the movie?
I had seen the movie many times because in 1981 there was a summer when it was on a lot. They used to do that. Just there was only either on Golden Pond was on or that was on. And I don't know why, as an 11-year-old girl, I was so interested. But what I suspect is that because my parents had recently been divorced, I felt like maybe these people can help me. Or also the idea that Alan Alda, this guy I knew from MASH, and Carol Burnett from the Carol Burnett Show, like they're together, but they're not doing the things I'm used to seeing. I was fascinated by it.
Absolutely. Tina, like Dave mentioned a little bit ago, this is your first on-screen role in quite a bit of time.
Yeah, as a series regular.
As a regular.
Sure, yeah.
So was that the plan from the start? Were you always going to be part of it in front of the screen as well?
Yes, this I always was hoping to be a part of.
Yeah.
And then I booked it.
What was the audition?
Rigorous.
What was it about Kate that you connected to?
Well, it was just the idea of bringing together an ensemble. Like Kerri said, I always was obsessed with the idea that it was these people you knew from other things come together, and I thought, could we build an ensemble like that where it's our friends, our comedy friends from other things in one thing together?
Yeah, absolutely. Kerri, when you joined, what was it about this that made you want to say yes? What was the character quality that was something that you really were interested in?
That's, first of all, a hilarious question that made you want to say yes. I couldn't believe I even got an audition for this, to be honest with you, for many reasons, but I think the main reason because I've lived in this alternative comedy space for 3 decades, very, very happy to be there. But people just didn't really see me that way. And so when I saw the audition come across, I thought, well, this must be oh, it's Anne, that makes sense. She disappears, right? Because in the movie she disappears. And so maybe in this she's like in one scene and I still won't get it, but I'll audition for it. And listen, if I would do a movie about a hot dog roll if Tina was doing it. I mean, any chance to get to work with her, I couldn't believe I was getting a chance to even audition. So I'm still waiting for someone to come up and go.
Can I say a real quick thing about Kerri? Like when we wrote the part of Anne, we auditioned a bunch of people, and I remember watching some of the auditions, and we were like, we've made this part like too sad. It's like so sad. Like every person who's doing it, we were like bummed out. And then Kerri came along and she played the emotion perfectly, but she also nailed the comedy so perfectly. And we were like, yes, that's what it's supposed to be. And so we were so excited because, like we've been fans of hers forever because we are fans of that comedy space. And like to see her get to do this like emotional, like heavy lifting was so exciting.
Yeah, it's a real skill to, it's a real skill that Kerri has, and all these guys have, which is to have this kind of secret precision with their jokes within these emotional scenes.
I was going to say, I feel like that's one of the biggest things this show does so well is could make you laugh and cry in the same sentence. So that's to the writing, to the acting. I mean, that's just every single character can do that. When you guys were creating this, how did you find that balance between we need to make some things more funny, we can't make, there are some things later on that are pretty heavy. How did you guys find that? What were those conversations like?
Well, our room is all people that most of which we've worked together with before, and they're all comedy people too. So it's all a lot of people from 30 Rock and, all people who have been doing this for a really long time and are really excellent comedy writers. And so, it was a little bit of a challenge to be like, oh, can we write in this new tone and can we police ourselves that we're never, trading on, throwing away an emotionally honest moment, which even saying emotionally honest moment makes me kind of gag, but can we not throw it for a joke or something? And can we be really honest and talk, and I've never been in a drama room. I imagine you do it more there where you talk about your life and you kind of share honestly. And so that was, for me, and I think for a lot of us, kind of a new experience and an exciting challenge to be writing for as long as we have and to try something new.
We talked a lot because we all were comedy writers from a similar background, and we did talk a lot in the beginning and throughout about what the rules of this show would be. Things like, we had talked about how hard it was for us all to be, Lang would be like, so this scene's just not going to end on a joke, it's just going to, it just ends. And I was like, and things like, I would, they were like, no insert shots of like funny products, like things that I normally love. Like there's a box of cereal in the room. Well, obviously we have to write 100 jokes on that box. Not this time. Another one that was tough was, and we allowed it a little bit by the end, which was like the few other people we encounter are gonna be normal. Normally that's our specialty.
No, it's like you meet a guy at a CVS and he's like, "Hi, my brother just got out of jail."
And my name is Glurb Corkscrew.
Yeah. But Glurb Corkscrew was not allowed on the show. A little bit, in like 8.
So
There's a couple
the cracks
of those.
start like a little bit at the end. There's a couple Glurbs.
I'm hoping that Anne dates Glurb Corkscrew next.
I know, that's gonna be their next love interest for sure. Marco, much like Tina, you hadn't acted in a bit since before you took this role. What was that process like of you getting back on screen?
I like that you put me in the same box with Tina.
Well, we're both very handsome.
Well, you know, I trained as an actor since I was a teenager, and I became a professional quite immediately. And then in my early 20s, I started to write, and I dedicated myself to writing and directing, and that was my life. I thought that was my career until this thing came my way. And I was like, I just premiered my first feature film at South by Southwest. We were doing a festival run. Thank you. And we were closing a deal for distribution, and then Coleman called me one morning asking me if I was still an actor, and I said, oh no. So, but would you put yourself on tape, because I had a vision. Actually, Raul, my husband, Coleman asked, I had a vision. What is it for? And I was like, and he was like, I don't want to tell you yet. And I was like, okay, needs a waiter passing by in a bar who says, lasagna, pizza, per te, ciao. And wouldn't you do that for a friend? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna put myself on tape for you. And then this thing came, and it felt too huge for me. And almost, I hope this doesn't sound ungrateful, but it felt almost like an obstacle to what I thought my path was. And a detour, not a shortcut. That's what I ultimately became, a huge opportunity. So anyway, I sent the tape, I got a call back, met with 15 people all squared in a Zoom. It was a Zoom, me and a wall. And I got the part, and it was hard to say, how can you say no? Look at this. Look at this and this. I mean, the scripts and you know, the geniuses at play here was tremendous. I was a fool. I was a fool to say no.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're very glad you didn't say no.
Me too.
Erika, your journey obviously is also a little bit different, because I know you had obviously worked with Tina on a little thing called Mean Girls, and
The musical.
the music. But you also aren't in the beginning of the show. You joined a little bit later. What was it like for you to join this group?
First off, they're the most wonderful bunch, but I obviously was a little nervous because they're kind of legendary to me. And I will say, on the first day, I met Steve, and when I'm nervous, I tend to overtalk. And so I think I got in the car after meeting him, and I went, did I just yell for 10 minutes at Steve Carell? But I think I tried to use that because I think she kind of is the outsider, so it was actually helpful to be a little on edge. And then of course, by the time we got to the end of our shoot, we were so close, and those were the summer episodes, and we actually had to be like, right, we're not besties, we have to have some distance between us because Ginny's just meeting this group. But it was thrilling, and I learned so much from watching them, and honestly just being with them between setups was such a joy, and that is like a gift that you all like the show, and also that we loved making it.
Was the casting process a bit different with her character because it was the outsider coming in?
Well, some things we knew, I did we took a lot of cues from the original movie. If Bess Armstrong is so wonderful as Ginny in the original movie, yes. And what she really has is this, and Alan Alda is really smart in his writing of the original movie, because one of the first things Ginny says is like very high EQ. She's like, I'm wondering if the group, maybe they don't want to go. Like, she's, right from the beginning, she was an empath and she's smart, and we knew we wanted someone that you would never be grossed out that Steve was with her. We don't want her to feel we want to be concerned for her that she, with Steve. So we wanted this kind of intelligence and wholesomeness, and Erika absolutely brings that.
Absolutely. All right, I want to talk, Will and Tina, I want to talk to you guys about Kate and Jack's marriage, because I think it really touches on so many things that people go through in real life, and there's a lot of love there. What did you guys want to explore with that? What did you want to kind of tell with that story? Will, let's start with you.
She wrote it. I say what's on the page, you know? I mean, I will say that there were a lot of things that you know, I felt about my own character and our relationship and all the relationships. There was such a relatability. You know, I was, you know, I felt a closeness to my own character, but then saw things in other people's characters that just felt so close to home. And I think that's one of the fun things that I've heard from my family and friends in watching this, is they you know, everyone feels like they're watching slivers of their own life. So, you know, what I was hoping for our relationship was just to do justice to the wonderful writing that these guys did. I mean, it really makes your job so easy when the words are so well thought out and put together.
Absolutely. What do you want? Go ahead.
Our writer staff, we were all pretty generous about sharing, like, you know, real things, tiny things from our marriages. And I did feel like we wanted everything we showed to be true to someone, right? So that it, you know, and then it was gratifying but a little hilarious that an old friend of mine from not a showbiz friend had texted me when the show came out, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so happy to watch the show. My wife and I are watching one season every night, and you know, and then he texted me a couple nights later and he goes, "We just finished fall. We had a big fight." He goes, "I'm hoping winter's gonna fix it tomorrow night." I'm like, "Oh, I think it will." And it did. I think it did. And I was like, yes, that's what we were trying to do. Ruin lives.
Create discussions. That's the way to do it. Create discussions. Well, Kerri, I mean, Anne obviously is very relatable. I think a lot of women and men can relate to what she goes through and kind of her ups and downs. What was it that you really wanted to tell? Like, what are some qualities you wanted to bring to Anne?
Well, I agree that she is very relatable, and I feel like I was the luckiest here as far as arc goes. I mean, who doesn't, male or female, want to play a character that goes through the full gambit of experience in that way? I think I just really, this is a gross word to use, it's such an actory word, in serving the writing, in serving the story, I just wanted to make sure, A, that I didn't screw it up, but B, that you didn't see anything coming, at least she didn't see anything coming, and that was really important to me, and it was in the writing too. But I really, in order to keep it from being a performance that is something that you've seen before, or too sentimental in that way, I was really hoping to convey the absolute train wreck of a surprise. That everything was, even the train wreck of a surprise that was kissing my best friend's husband, you know, like even she didn't see that coming. It's like it happened to her even though she was 50% of it. I really wanted it to be like a house of mirrors where you're running full steam into everything, into your marriage, into your friendships, into your any sort of connection, desperate with your child, with everything, and just hitting head on. But really sort of living in that moment before the surprise, if that makes any sense.
100%. What were you guys given all the scripts ahead of time?
Yeah,
Will was not.
that much ahead of time. I don't know.
Did we read them all before we started filming?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we read episode 8 like
Yeah.
the day before we started
Like the
shooting.
day before.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
There's a big spoiler.
Just said it.
Yeah.
Yes, there is. Okay. So, I mean, I was going to ask you what guys surprised you the most when you were reading, what big things happened, but I don't know if I want. Or have anyone in here? No.
I can say because I think you watch episode 1
They
and
watched
2
1
here,
and 2,
right,
yes.
tonight? I finished episode 2 reading. I was like, I sing. Nobody dared to ask me if I can sing. They're like, what did I just lose my job? Anyway, no, I can't sing.
Nailed it.
Yeah, nailed it. I was going to ask you though, I mean, this was also rewritten a bit once you got cast, correct?
What?
The role was rewritten a little bit once you got cast as an Italian.
Yeah, but I don't think you asked me if I was Italian. Yes, but I mean if I was able to sing.
No,
That's
you
why
didn't do that.
that surprised me. That surprised me a lot.
But you did a great job.
So yeah, once he was cast, you guys kind of reworked a little bit.
Yeah, we originally the role was he was like a house husband to Danny, and he was kind of like a little out of step with the rest of the group and a little bit of a drip and kind of annoying to be around was his game. And then, and so a lot of funny guys came in who were doing that correctly, and then this kind of came out of left field, and it's like this Italian guy in the sides that we had, I know, like raving about a ghost that was in their house or whatever we had written for him, and we were just like, oh, this is so funny and so something. Like such a different thing that we never would have come up with on our own, and it seemed like such a great chemistry match with Coleman, and worth rewriting it because obviously you're so handsome and charming that
Is it a beauty contest?
it would never be a person that you would be like, oh, I hate him. It felt like worth rewriting it for him, so we did.
Absolutely. When you guys watched, did you relate to other characters more than your own at all?
Oh, I can be a Kate.
Okay.
Yeah, I think my husband would say I have many Kate days. but I'm also Jack a lot too. I really think it's such brilliant, I really think the writing is so brilliant in that way. When we were doing the press junket, Coleman and Marco started asking the interviewers, who are you? And it was interesting to see people say, wow, some days I'm a Kate. Oh, last night I was a Jack. Oh, sometimes yeah. And so I think, like Tina said, what's so beautiful about it is I think it hits, I don't think there's anyone that you say, I've never been that. Can't relate to that. I think you can relate to moments of most every character. At least I can.
Absolutely.
Same.
What about for you two? Do you guys see yourself as one of the characters more than another?
Yes.
You're not going to tell us which one.
I feel like you're a Kate and I'm an Anne.
That's correct.
I can tell you from the outside, that's correct.
And Tina, are you a Kate?
Yeah, obviously that.
I mean, just making sure. Just making sure. One does.
yeah.
Obviously, we know there's a season 2 pickup. Where are we in the season 2 process?
We started the room 1 week ago.
Okay.
So we figured it all out, guys. We got everything.
We'll pitch it to you tonight.
It's ready.
Do you guys on the cast know anything yet about season 2?
Nothing.
No, but I heard they're gonna have a comment box here. And whatever you guys come up with, they're gonna work it out.
So we're gonna lock the 3 of them tonight in a bathroom and just like ask for everything they know already.
Is there anyone's responses that you guys have gotten that has surprised you?
I mean, I have a ton of friends who have not been married for upwards of 20 years, and they have all like texted and watched it and have said, either they're in a relationship with a long-term partner, just like a boyfriend or girlfriend, or they've gotten married, and they said, I see myself in these long-term marriages, but even more so in the friendships. And I think that, to me, that was my favorite thing watching it, because I wasn't on set for some of the things between Kate and Danny, and that sort of quickness and familiarity the two of them have together, like, reminds me of me and my best friend. And it truly, that was one of the relationships of the show that I really didn't see it until I watched the whole thing in its entirety. And I just thought, whether you're married or not, something about the friendships of these people who have shared history is one of my favorite things. And for the sort of millennial friends of mine who are watching it, they definitely relate to that. And that's been like so wonderful to know that all the relationships feel, the platonic and the marriages feel represented beautifully.
Anyone else? Get any like surprising responses to any of the relationships?
Well, this is obviously true, but people will write me all the time and be like, oh my God, this line. I will tell you, this is why she's the best. 9 out of 10 times, it's Tina Fey. It is, because it's like all the very good, like, you're a grown man, manage your food intake, like all the very good. So many friends of mine have been like, that is my husband? Why do I have to carry a power bar for him? Like, so many good ones. Or my favorite line in the whole show when Steve in the pilot is like, we're not like roommates, we're like two coworkers in a nuclear, we sit all night monitoring different screens, we're like coworkers in a nuclear facility, also Tina Fey. They can tell you.
I'm curious, I want to go back to the beginning of this process a little bit, and when you guys were talking about the film and making it into a show, was it always going to be the 8 episodes? Was it always going to be strictly comedy? I mean, I wouldn't say strictly comedy, but it is.
Yeah, well, I think maybe we first internally talked about like, oh, it's 4 1 hours, and my agent was like, no, it's 8.5 hours. I'm like, okay, we can figure that out. And then I think that the tone is what we were most drawn to, right? So yes, we knew that it would be comedic and dramatic. And I think one of the things we were most excited about was to get to spend more time with these characters and to keep Anne alive, you know? In fact, we had to kind of, like, I think, you know, you maybe step away for 1 episode, right? But even that, we had to force ourselves to send you away for 1 episode.
That's okay, I was just by the pool.
Obviously, we got Alan Alda, which was incredible to see him pop up in there. Did you guys talk about having other people from the film, or maybe in future seasons?
I think we didn't really want to press our luck with season 1. We were like, oh my God, Alan said yes, like, you know.
And it was his baby. It was his movie. He wrote it and directed it. And like, I think we, you know, and he had been like so instrumental in like helping us get the rights. And, you know, he's just been like a wonderful, lovely partner forever. And so like, I think we just wanted to like honor him in that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Marco, I had one for you that I wanted to ask. How much of Claude is Marco?
Well, I can't say that it's me. I can't say I'm Claude. I mean, definitely, no. I mean, Claude is over the top, exuberant. He feels everything so loudly, and he feels it all. Like it's full of life and love and forgiveness. I may lack a little bit in that. I don't know. I think that I am generally caring, and I like people, and when I decide to be with people, I'm genuinely, happy, and so I think that that energy, that vibe, definitely, I share it with Claude. At the same time, I couldn't immediately see on the page the tenderness in Claude and a truthfulness in his joy that I think I was able to bring to the character. And I don't know. I think also all that organically comes probably with my being Italian, you know, and this is kind of this life force that's spontaneous in being in being that in a group of Americans, you know.
All right, the last thing I want to ask, I want to go down the line. Who made you guys laugh the most on set? Tina, I'm going to start with you.
Start with me?
Yeah.
Well, everyone's really funny. I think I'm probably gonna say Kerri, because we spent a lot of time together. And although I'm trying to think of a story that I can tell that's not
Ready?
not inappropriate.
Kerri was also, we shot 2 weeks in Puerto Rico, and Kerri was kind of like cruise director for those 2 weeks.
I had a lot of free time.
So I feel like we just got to spend, you kind of brought everyone together in those last 2 weeks, just because I think that is sort of an Anne, that's where you differ from Anne. You're like, I'm ready, I'm up, it's 9 p.m., are you coming over for wine and pizza? So we had a lot of good times in Puerto Rico.
Agreed.
What about for you guys?
Well, there's a couple moments coming up that I don't want to spoil, but like Will has a very funny one in summer that like I really was like crying, laughing during. And then in winter we have a couple guest stars who are also very special that I also laughed a lot during their performance.
The guest star is your favorite.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm teasing an exciting thing. Well,
they were
incredible.
They were incredible.
All of the cast is so funny, guys. You know, you can't pick favorites.
Yeah, I had a few. I mean, one was Kerri. This isn't giving it away. Has to unwrap something, and it's taking too long and embarrassing to her. And holy shit, every time she did it, I was like, couldn't stop laughing. And like a range of emotions where at one point I'm like, is she gonna start crying? And then she's laughing like maniacally. It was so fun. It was funny. Like when we came up with it in the room, I was like, oh, this is so funny. And then it was so much funnier in person when you did it. Also, yeah, in some of the, especially in the finale, I feel like Tina, you have some like Liz Lemon kind of like old, like I hate this guy, he's annoying me. Lang's favorite actor, the guest star, is annoying me so much. It's like I find it so enjoyable to watch you when someone's annoying you.
I agree.
All right, Will, who made you laugh the most?
I guess I'll probably just go with myself. It's really hard. I want to acknowledge, I mean, that's a really hard question. That's the beauty of this cast. I mean, I'm going to say Tina, because none of this would have been possible without her brilliance. And like, they created this group of people that by the end, actually not even by the end, in the very beginning, these scenes that we're playing, where we're pretending to be friends, felt so lived in and so easy to do. It's like we were good buddies. So by the time we're in Puerto Rico, it just was so fun and just felt like a bunch of old friends. And that's why the news of getting a second season is the best thing ever, because like no matter how well you know people going into the first season, you got a couple this period of time where you're nervous about stuff. How am I doing? And we're over that part. So now we just get to come and celebrate these friendships that we've created. But my answer is Tina Fey.
All right, Kerri, who's your answer?
Well, at the risk of sounding redundant, it's myself, no. It's Tina Fey, but I think that's obvious for me. She and I have a similar tolerance for things in life, but her ability to get quickly to the dry sarcasm of it all in real life and with the pen literally knocks me out every time. Every time. And I still don't see it coming. I could go on a girls' trip with her for 6 years and not get tired of her. But nobody makes me laugh quite like that. And I mean, I could, it's gross, and you see people talk about this, and you're just like, yeah, okay, you guys are all best friends. But really, truly, to a person, it is a dream come true. There's not a person in the cast or this main group that you get sat next to at dinner that you don't go, oh, okay. It's not a long dinner.
All right, Marco.
Yeah, Tina. Truly. No, it's not true. But also, I want to add for exactly the same reason. Like, I feel like she has she's one joke after the other, and it's so spontaneous, so organic, so full of sarcasm. It's so genius and she's not even working when she does those lines. And you would just like, is there anybody recording what you're saying? But this should be in episode 9, you know. But also wanna say when Tina and Coleman are together, and they, but not what you see here. In between the takes, in between the scene, like on set, and like, they spent like 3 months going through all the jingles of every TV show in the American history, and of course I know none of those. Like, that was pretty hilarious. Yeah.
All right, Erika, last one.
I have to cop out. I cannot choose. But I will say, I'm actually not good. I won't. I gotta say, I got to watch Steve Carell do what Steve Carell does best, which is getting hurt for like 5 minutes over and over in a tape. And then also watch him tell which you won't see until the winter episodes, a really long, awkward story that he just doesn't know how to wrap up. And that was, I think, one of my favorite days on set.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining the first season. Please join us for the reception at the Fairmont Aero. Shout out to